There we are. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. It is 3:30 on Monday, October 29th. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Library Trustees. I'm joined by Shannon, Betsy, Aiden, myself, and Joanne. And our first order of business is to review and approve the prior meeting minutes from Monday, September 24th. So, with that, give everybody a moment to look at the meeting minutes. Okay. All right. They look like appropriate to me. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about the minutes as written?
I'm good.
Good? Okay.
With that said, I will make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, I just remembered you weren't there,
That's correct.
so you can second, but you can't approve. So it's just two.
Okay.
You can second her motion, but you can't approve them.
Okay.
Sorry. All right. Second order of business is the youth services report, so I'll turn it over to Shannon.
Hello. So at the beginning of the month, I did a little professional development, and I went to the Teen Summit, which is put on by MLS, which was good. It was fun. I learned some fun stuff. In September, we had 15 children programs. We had a total of 164 people in attendance. We had another really good Whittier Farm story time. We had about 80 people in attendance, which is a bit of a dip from the previous years, but it was really dark and cloudy till just about when we left to go do it. So I assumed a bunch of people, a few people actually had called that morning and were like, we're not going to come. And I was like, yep, that makes sense. So, but other than that, it was lots of fun. We still had a good amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the cold, dark weather sort of turned a few people off, especially people who have little babies.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
We were supposed to have the 4th grade come up today, but because of the chance of thunderstorms, they decided to reschedule. We're going to try again next Monday, and we're still going to try for this Friday. We're going to be doing a presentation for the 4th grade on genre, because they're doing their big Tower of Books challenge this year.
Right.
We've done it 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they keep coming back, so we must be doing something right.
I mean, so just for people to understand at home, the kids are walking up from the school. It's not like a bus field trip, so.
Right, they walk up from the school. They do have permission to check out books if they have a library card.
Mm-hmm.
They are given a permission slip ahead of time, which informs their guardians of that. So we've had a few people come in and make cards for their kids, and I give a quick 10-15 minute presentation on genre, and I cover all the major genres and describe them to them, and then we set them free on the library, which can be a little overwhelming because there's a lot of them. But and they can just sort of browse, and I give recommendations, and we talk about what books, because they are given this at the beginning of the year, right? They start it at some point. Like, I've already had a few kids come in looking for specific things on the challenge. But this gives some who don't normally come to the library. I point out where we specifically have display shelves of like Newbery Award winners, because that's one of them, and Caldecott winners. And then we talk about, how this book is a fantasy book, yes, but it's also historical fiction, or it's this, or it could be this. And we talk about all the sort of wishy-washiness of genre, and how, just because you have to read historical fiction doesn't mean it has to be boring.
Right. Well, and I think the other thing that's overwhelming for the kids is it's a completely different type of collection than what's in the school library. very different. Yeah, totally different
Yeah.
types of books available, which is great. So they can really expand their horizons if they're ready for that. Okay.
Okay. So they were supposed to come today, but they'll come maybe at the end of the week or next week.
Am I correct in assuming that you have half the fourth grade each time?
Two
Approximately.
fifths versus 3/5, yes.
Yeah.
There are 5 fourth grades.
Right.
So story times are just rolling right along. We're still having a Wednesday and Thursday story time every week at 10:30, and we're going to keep rolling that right along until December 20th, and then we'll take a break for Christmas break, and then we'll more than likely start right back up again.
Pre-registration's required for that?
No, it's drop in.
Perfect.
This week, Wednesday is a little special because it happens to also be Halloween. So right after story time, we will be doing a costume parade where we are going to walk up and around into the town hall. We've already given them fair warning, and they've been gracious enough to agree to allow us to come in and show all our cute costumes. So that'll be exciting. Baby story time will start up there should be a Y at the end of that word, every Tuesday after this Tuesday, so starting next week, until December 19th at 10:30. That's geared toward ages 6 to 24 months. If your baby is a little bit younger, a little bit older, that's fine, but that's who it's geared toward. And then we have our continued story time at the bank on Mondays. The next one coming up is Monday, November 5th, who will have a surprise guest because I will have to be here for the fourth grade. So I think we're going to have Pam do it. Pam's going to do that one for me. And then we'll have it again on the 26th. We have Kidding Around Yoga coming up on the November 29th at 5:30 for ages 4 to 7. We have a Deb Hudgens coming up on November 19th at 10:30, geared toward ages 1 to 5. We're going to have a free movie Friday, November 16th at 4. We're going to be watching The Nightmare Before Christmas. It is rated PG. It is a Tim Burton movie. It can be a little scary, just as an FYI. But it also is that perfect Halloween's over, but Christmas isn't here yet kind of a movie. So, we're doing our You and Me book club December 19th. We'll be discussing Nicholas St. North and the Battle of the Nightmare King. Very similar.
Battle of the, okay, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll type both there.
Oh, sorry. I
That's
didn't
okay.
notice.
I was like,
So it's
are there 2
compelling.
books?
As compelling as the Battle or the Nightmare King also.
Yeah.
You just put like another R on top of the R and you'll
There
be
we
all
go,
set.
right?
Yeah.
I was writing a lot of reports.
Spell checker
Yeah,
is
you're
not
fine.
your friend apparently.
Well, it's
No.
they're
It's not
They're spelled
spelled
correctly,
incorrectly.
but they're not the right word.
yeah.
Lego Club's coming up. Well, there's actually one tomorrow.
Okay.
And then there is going to be one on November 15th at 4, and then one on Tuesday, November 27th at 4. As far as teen programs go, we had 3 teen programs in September. We had 10 people in attendance, which wasn't too bad. One of those was, we had the Masterpiece Meltdown where I kept tripping the circuit breakers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had 4 people come to the string art one, which actually worked out well because I was listening to all of them hammer the nails and going, you know what, if there was more than this, I'd probably be a lot louder in here. So it worked out pretty good. Coming up for our teens, Betsy is going to very graciously hold a How to Rock Your job interview workshop, seminar, course. How should we label that? We're going to go with workshop. November 3rd at 11. I have a teen pizza and movie. November 8th, that's a Thursday at 11:30 because Sutton has a half day that day. No one has signed up for it yet, and it's only actually going to happen if people sign up. But we'll be watching the movie Stick It, which is PG-13, just as an FYI. So we're only opening it up to ages 12 and up. There's a tag meeting November 15th, that's a Thursday at 2:30. We're doing another STEAM workshop project. It's called Light the Night, Saturday, November 10th. I think there's about 6 people signed up for that one so far out of the 12. So there is still room. That one is you're basically making a lamp
Cool.
with wooden blocks. And so you're building your structure however you want, and then the light is in the middle. So you can leave spaces incomplete so that light will come out, but it can look really cool. There's all different types of examples of them.
Awesome.
And then finally, Tinker Tuesday will be November 13th at 3.
So I have a question.
A lot, yes.
This may, based on observing my own family, where we push out a lot of our events by Facebook.
Yes.
What social media platform can we push these teen events out on that they would see it?
Tinder.
No.
No, I mean, we have Instagram and Twitter.
We do.
Nita's really good at the Twitter.
Okay.
I don't use Twitter much, but whenever I go look at our thing, I'm always pleasantly surprised that she's posting every, other day.
Yeah, no, I know. I look. Yeah, I follow us on Twitter.
But I don't know what the
have
young
an
people
Instagram.
do.
I really should get one.
And that's, I think, the one where we don't post quite as much.
So yeah, I'm just thinking where can we share them?
Probably should ask a teenager. where
And
they
that's what
go.
I was thinking. What made me think of is maybe that would be a good topic to bring up at your teen advisory group.
See what they use.
See what they use.
The other thing you could do
My
is...
teen advisory group currently is kind of on the younger side, so I'm sure they have social media, but I
They-
don't know how much of it is open social media,
And then the other thing is,
if that makes sense.
are they posting any of these events for you in the high school, middle school library?
I
And could
send
they?
them flyers. I don't know
I would almost
what happens after that.
send an email to the middle school and high school offices asking them to get it into the daily announcements at least a couple of times and put specific dates you want it announced.
Okay.
You know how I work for the pizza and stuff? Yeah, because you had made, when we ran out, you and did the new 3-month course, you sent them all to BVT and to the
Yes.
school.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was just a thought, just curious.
Yes, because I know only old people use Facebook. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm constantly reminded.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, I know,
We have an Instagram.
I know.
But
I do need to
trying
put. I
use
do need to
Instagram.
put more of the teen stuff on Instagram. You're right.
Okay.
LinkedIn's probably not a good place to send it.
No, not LinkedIn, that's
I
for
tried
really
making a
old people.
Tumblr once, but I was frightened by it, so I turned it.
Tumblr is a scary, dark place.
It's mostly just that I didn't really fully conceptualize what I was supposed to do as a user, so I was like, I don't, and then I got rid of it. So
The library could have Snapchat stories, that would be fun.
There's also Instagram stories, there's Facebook stories.
I know, I'm just teasing.
I don't think people use Snapchat as much as they did anymore. I think
I
it's
know.
been sort of
The
eaten by Instagram.
stories, yeah, I think you're right, so maybe we just, yeah. Anyway,
Again, teen advisory group, ask them what they use.
And about the time you finally get everything set and use what they
It'll be
use,
replaced.
they'll
Something
be
else will be
using
used, yeah.
something else.
yeah,
Yeah.
Before we go on, as far as upcoming programs for teens, how many of those things are drop-ins and how many are pre-registration?
Tag and Tinker is drop in. The other 3 are registration required.
And our maximum number, kind of?
For Light the Night is 12. For how to rock your job interview, it's probably 12 to 16. We can't really fit more than that in that room. But no one's signed up yet. So it's fine. And then for teen movie, I think it's set at like 18. Because if they're just sitting and not moving, I can fit 18 chairs in there.
Sitting.
Just sitting. If you're just sitting and not moving, any capacity.
And the reason I ask is because I think we need to keep that information out there. Because we have maximums due to space considerations.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame that we have to turn away people sometimes, but it is the reality.
We should keep track of it and publish that.
Mhm.
I'd more like to see us, how many people we turned away, because that's the number that we will be using to push
In the future.
in the future.
Mhm.
Right, we turned away these people, we turned away these people. The problem with turning away people is they may not come back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The thing is, if they don't even get in the door because they couldn't find a place to park, we don't even know that we turned them away.
Yeah.
That happens too, I know.
Speaking of which, I did see published in social media that the Brick Block is recommending the library as well as the church parking lot for their patrons.
That's not cool.
So,
So the problem is, yeah, no,
It is-
because we're open at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
I
open.
know it's public parking, but
Not those
it's,
free spots.
yeah, when the library's got a very limited parking area, it probably shouldn't be advertised as available for other groups at least.
Yeah, especially because they're open Thursday nights and we almost always have a program Thursday nights.
Right.
I was not aware of that.
Okay. We'll figure that out. We'll figure out a polite way to address that.
Well, so the Boo Bash went really well
That's good.
on Saturday.
That's good.
Yeah.
We have a decent turnout and all that good stuff.
We had almost 70, we figured. We counted.
Whoa.
That's
Elliot was hash
fantastic.
marking as they came through the door, so that's accurate. But again, people, we could see them pull up to the door, just go to their passengers, and shuffle one parent in with children, and then
Go find
disappear
a
to go park because there was no place to park.
Yeah, and it was nasty weatherwise.
It was gross. I feel like we would have had a lot more if it wasn't so gross because people
Yeah.
just didn't want to go anywhere.
That's great. That's
And everybody who came stayed a long time.
Yeah.
And they were really happy.
good.
Yeah, their friends helped us pay for it. We ended up buying some games that we were going to make, and I found them at Target for like $10. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
So that was nice. The friends came and helped, which was good.
Good.
So we forgot to make button bracelets, by the way. I remember that night. But we had 2 crafts. We had slime, and we had like half a dozen games. We had a scavenger hunt. You could guess the weight of a pumpkin and lollipops and stuff. So a lot of just
Awesome.
low-key things, and people just circulated and chatted, and it was nice.
Good.
And some familiar faces and some new faces. So.
Excellent. Okay. Anything?
And I finished and submitted my final report for the Osterman Family Foundation grant for the year 2018.
Okay.
So now we're just waiting to hear back sometime in December on
Mhm.
whether or not I got
A new one.
grant approval for the new
Theme.
Initiative.
initiative
Yes.
of youth navigation into adulthood, which we'll find out sometime in December.
Great. Excellent.
Thank you.
Any questions or concerns? Besides Tumblr.
Yeah, no Tumblr. That's fine.
Tumblr?
It's a social media platform.
Oh,
There's so many. All right, I think we're good.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I have no questions,
We'll move on to.
except, what social media platforms I don't even know exist.
There's so
Wait a
many.
minute, no, I'm old, I don't need to know.
Yeah, there's another adult workshop.
Yeah.
Social media
Social
you
media
never
that you don't
heard
know.
Social
don't know
media
that your kids
has
are using.
probably outdated by now.
What apps should you look for?
What apps are your kids on?
Yeah.
You could do the whole workshop and at the very end just say, never mind, they're all outdated by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Betsy,
All right.
your director's report.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Half a dozen in meetings. And let's see. Of note, well, I had the media literacy presentation. I had her here in the evening, and then I had her at the school with her students in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really good. And I learned, because she was talking about something that the students had taught her to do the day before, and I didn't know what it was, and I had to ask Shannon who knew what it was. What was it? Boomerang?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. It's like a recurring picture thing. I don't. So yeah, no, there's all kinds of stuff out there. I don't even know what it is. It's fine,
Awesome.
but she was great. The Friends page, she only wanted mileage, and the Friends paid for that
Wow.
generously. So
Great.
that was really good. And Mr. McCarthy at the high school was super pleased, and he's hopefully gonna have her back.
Great.
To talk to students, every semester, every year, or something like that, because it fit right in with their curriculum.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Very good.
Upcoming just this month is the ancestry workshops, which are Thursday night and next Tuesday morning. Be the same workshop. We have a lot of interest, so we'll see how many people actually show up.
Good.
So that's blissful. I have a couple stuff planned for after that, but November is just kind of this. We're finishing up. This is the last week of enrichment that we're co-teaching, which has been brain draining. So
So sorry.
well, we're doing escape room.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we have three different, our kids separate into three different groups. You have to have three different tracks, so it's like making three separate escape rooms every week, which takes a lot more brain power than you'd think. So
Awesome.
we're almost done with that. It's been a long month of making those up. Let's see. The Friends have been very busy. They had their floral workshop Friday night, which was well attended.
Great.
They're taking fudge orders for Thanksgiving and gift card orders for November 9th. The fudge will be here the 16th of November. People can pick it up. It's highly recommended. It's really
Yeah,
good
I
fudge.
need to do that. I need to
Yep.
jump on that.
They think that the fudge lady or her representative will be here for the Chain of Lights. And I think they're hoping to do another round of pre-orders before Christmas.
Mm,
So
excellent.
that'll be good, yeah. They're big fans of the fudge lady. Their next meeting is November 9th. They're working on some blankets for maybe for Chain of Lights. Bless you.
Excuse me.
It's gonna be a tight one, I think. They're waiting on their sample now, but it's the woven blanket with like 9 different places in town on it.
The one that
Like
used
the one
to be
that
on
hangs
the
in,
center store.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's-
it's got like a couple colors on it, so it's not too many colors, but it's like green and red. So like Polly's is on there, so it looks nice. And the Waters House is on there, which is red. So
Nice.
they should. I think they're really hoping to have them for Chain of Lights, but it's a tight timeline. They will definitely have their sample though, so they can take pre-orders. But
Well, that'll be good.
yeah, it's something different. And like I said, it looks nice because there's just enough color to make them pop, but not too much. It's overwhelming.
Right.
I don't know what else. They will be here on Chain of Lights with a small book sale, their merchandise, and the Fudge Lady. So
Awesome.
hopefully enough to draw people in. No staff, nothing staffy to report, which is always good news. I did go to NELA 2 days last week, and that was really great. It was in Warwick, Rhode Island, which was a super easy ride. It was right off the highway, and it was a nice conference. So that's
Great.
What did I talk to? Is there anything? Nothing really vendory wise. That was good, but I actually met the guy who runs our new calendar museum pass system for the first time, so that was nice.
That's good.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Because you're happy with that, so.
Yeah, I'm very happy with him. I told him that, so it was good. Let's see. So like Shannon said, her report has been submitted. The final LSTA homebound grant has been submitted. We do have a couple more people we just picked up
Mhm.
the last 2 weeks, so now we've got like 4 or 5 people we're making deliveries to. So,
Oh, great, okay.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things that was gonna
It's gonna roll.
slowly pick up speed.
Yep.
There was a couple of days where we were without a section of lights. It was a wire or something in the ceiling that went awry, which was a really super quick fix. But while the electrician was here, we talked about, because they had done the lights in the town hall to LED, I don't know, a year or 2 ago, and they had a couple extras, so they replaced some of our lights with LEDs. So we talked about replacing the rest of our lights with LEDs, and he talked to Jim, and Jim will pay for the fixtures, and I can pay for the installation, which happens to be just about what our budget is for repair and maintenance.
Okay.
So, but that'll do all the rest of our lights, which will make a huge improvement, and since they're LED, they'll hopefully last for many years before we have to replace them.
Great.
So,
So
Okay.
hopefully we won't have any more repairs of anything.
Yeah.
For the remainder of the fiscal year.
fingers crossed. Well, I don't know how long those will take to come in.
Right.
So,
Okay.
that would be very exciting. I think that was it. Alright. September 6th were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Going on. October's looking pretty good too.
Yep.
So that's no complaints on Circs.
Yeah, no, Circs look fine.
I will say one of our homebound patrons, because we're keeping track of what they've read and what they liked so that we can, figure out what to give them next. And this patron, I was looking at the sheet, has read like 30-something books since we started homebound delivery.
Wow.
It's
How
only been
happy
like a
she
couple of
must be.
months. Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
great.
I suppose when you're homebound.
Yeah, we just needed someone to bring them the books. and
Right.
they're
Well,
willing
that's
to-
great.
fantastic.
It was a really impressive list.
Yeah.
So.
Great.
Okay. So nothing of concern for Circs, I mean,
No, and I gotta check when our Zinnia's up. We will not renew our Zinnia. I assume we're
Yeah,
all in
no.
agreement about that.
Mhm.
Since
Yeah,
the
no.
Overdrive magazines are there.
right, yeah. We just didn't. Okay. And then, so we wanna move on to budgets?
Sure.
So we have our year-to-date budget report for our salaries and all that sort of thing. And 330, all good there. Do you have any concerns? I don't see anything that jumps out at me as a concern.
No, are you still on the main one?
Yeah.
The first one? No, it's fine.
Okay. Going the wrong way, sorry. State aid,
Yeah.
Okay.
And any state aid this month.
yeah. So that number, the handwritten number is our actual
Yeah.
fund?
Yep.
Okay, and the next payment goes in?
By the end of the year, usually.
Yeah, that's right.
So, the first MBLC meeting is Thursday
So
to
we're putting
approve
it for
them.
in the first or
If-
second group?
Yeah, and the second group is the December 6th. So
Okay.
it just depends where they put us. I don't anticipate
And the-
we're not going to be certified. So
Pardon?
I said I don't anticipate we won't be certified.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Should be fine.
It should be good.
So we will be certified,
Yeah.
in other words.
Yes, we will.
All signs point to yes.
All right. And then our gift account.
Yeah, which is low. And
It's
so
low.
the crossed out things are, because I had put them in as Ingram, but they were actually Amazon. So
Okay.
Amanda had gone back and fixed them for me, which is why they show up as
Crossed out.
debits and then credits and then
Okay.
debits again under Amazon.
Okay,
I get so
gotcha.
used to writing the same vendor over and over again
Yep,
that sometimes I get on a roll.
Yep.
So that's why those looks weird. I was like, why is that? I was like, oh, that's why. So yeah, so that's low. So we need to
Gift is low.
Mm.
Not spend any more money.
So typically, I mean, we used to get things like little grants from like Target and Unibank, and those went in gift, right?
Yep, Unibank, we get the significant one usually in the spring. We use
Okay.
that for summer reading.
Okay.
I know we've been on a Target one a long time. I wonder if Amanda did that or if they just sent it to us.
I feel like Amanda did something to earn, like get those, but then I feel like it went away. But I wonder if they've reinstituted it.
Yeah.
I wonder if we request from Millbury Savings too.
They give
used
us
to-
a little money for summer reading, usually like $100 or something. So
I do know, sitting, I'm a corporate of a bank, the banks actually have to give away, if they're owned by the depositors, a certain amount of money every year. So banks are always good to go after, because they have to give it away.
Credit unions too.
Yeah, because of the same thing.
Yep.
The depositors own the bank. It's not owned by stock, but the depositors make up the bank.
So if you have a percentage of depositors from a specific town, then they'll want to give to the town to satisfy the budget, the depositors.
Yeah, exactly. Or if certain banks' presidents were born in Sutton, that might, also help.
Right.
Okay.
well, if
Gotcha.
anyone has any leads they want to send me later, that'd be great.
Okay. The LST Homebound Grant. So,
Yeah, and she has actually spent that all, but we haven't
Okay.
gotten all the bills yet. There's a
Okay.
lag, but she spent actually slightly over, and the friends kicked in because they actually also, the MBLC likes to, or not the MBLC, but the Institute of Museum and Library Services, which oversees the LSTA grants, like to see that community organizations have some buy-in. So the friends kicked in like $100 that we end up spending over. So it was all right.
okay. Sounds good.
So it's actually, there's no money in that.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's the plan. That's the goal. And then we have the end of the Ostermanstein grant,
And I've actually spent that too.
and that's spent.
Why does this not surprise us?
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Hopefully by next month, I'll have all those invoices and they'll all be paid. So,
Okay.
although doubtful because you end up spending a lot on Amazon, right? So that might take another, by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Be washed out by the end of December.
Yep, that's fine.
I spent like $1,000.
I know, but the Amazon invoices take forever.
Okay.
That's true, they do.
All right, so that takes care of that. Any other questions for Betsy about the budgets, her report?
No, I'm
Good? Okay. New and old business. So any new business?
Looks like we're good.
Good, we have a November meeting on the calendar. Do we want to set a December meeting? We have November
26th.
26th at 3:30.
Yeah. December's where it gets hinky with the holiday. We have to go to the 17th.
December 17th?
Yeah, because then it's New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve.
Yeah, so,
Both at 3:30?
yeah. Actually, while we're here then, do we want to talk about the staff? I know it's only October, but since we're talking about December dates,
talking the Christmas party, or are you talking?
yeah, the staff holiday shindig.
We did it in early January last year,
We did, because we were.
which kind of works out because
Yeah.
6 is 1/2 dozen the other, if it works out.
Does that
well.
work? If you guys
I'd
like
say
that, I just,
Past the
let's do
worst
that
part of
then.
the
Let's
season.
do-
everybody is a little more relaxed.
Yeah, early January works for me too.
Because I can also take care of it, and it was not that much work
Yeah.
to do what we did last year.
Yeah.
The club took care of it.
Delicious.
Yeah, it was very nice.
It was wonderful.
Just made a phone call, told him what I,
Felt like a grown-up all evening. It was great.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
It's
Huh?
I know.
We got new calendars.
You got your new calendar. You guys are the best.
There's nothing. It's so beautiful.
It's like when we talk about like, I get excited about things like Ticonderoga pencils, specifically Ticonderoga, yes, and you know, Flair pens, and that's really all I need. You know, new calendars are right up there. I just
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem is new calendars come with the new phone, you know, you just scroll over.
I
and
know
hit
It's,
I use
you gotta have paper too.
I use
the-
both.
Oh, I'm old school engineer. I print and mark up, I mean, I can sit here and mark up prints on my phone. I still do it with paper.
Yeah.
Do we want to come up with a day of the week for the staff event?
Usually we do
Preferable.
Wednesday because we're not open late. Don't we usually do like Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think we usually do.
So Aiden, you're gonna handle trying to find a night for us, or to book a night in
Sure.
early January?
Early January on a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Anybody have any preferences?
Probably not the second, but
Yeah.
Right.
just, but other than that, that still gives you 4 Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So that's great.
And then
And same restaurant, same venue will work well.
Mhm.
That was good.
Okay. Same little lock us off. Although they have done over the downstairs, not the main dining room, where the little bar was. I don't know, did I give any of you guys
No.
and the library, of course, was done over as well. It's now blue and not natural wood.
Oh,
Absolutely beautiful.
great.
We look forward to a tour.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Is there any other new business that we need to address? No.
Anything about the stuff you sent us online about being recertified or certified? You sent us 3 documents.
Were those the heirs?
Yeah, from the state.
Oh, no.
Yeah, those they don't affect us.
Okay.
Just in case you were wondering.
Quick.
All right. Good.
Actually, I do have one thing that just came to mind. We had the temporary door repair, which is now starting to look a little hazardous again. What is the timeline for the actual door? Have you heard anything about doing the door, the overhang, the sidewalk in front? Because that was all appropriated at
Town meeting. Yeah,
town
the
meeting
spring.
in the spring.
Yeah, no, because they were trying to get the school sidewalks done first. But
Yeah,
I think
and
nobody bid on that, or they
yeah,
only
nobody
like one
bid on
bid or
it.
something.
Yeah,
Then I don't know if they were going to roll it together to make it a bigger project.
I don't know. Okay.
But I haven't heard about anything
And
about
so,
that.
all right, so maybe if you could ask about that at your next department heads.
Yep, that's next week. So,
Okay, perfect.
yeah, because now that it's going to be winter,
Yeah, no,
it's pretty moot point.
yeah,
so.
so just maybe if they can do more of whatever they did to make sure we get through the winter.
Yeah, because already last week it was starting to drip down in front of the door, but it wasn't cold enough to ice over. So
And maybe since they won't be able to do anything in the winter, to put it on calendar for spring now and get a date before it
well,
fills
they'll
up.
have to
So,
because they have to spend that money in this fiscal year.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and then the other thing is if there's something, if we have to start using a lot more salt and sand in front, is there some sort of mat we should get for the vestibule
that would catch it better.
that would catch the salt and sand better?
Yeah.
Like one of those like little, you know what I mean? The
Yeah,
little
the ones with the
grippier
little-
ones, the little
It's like
fingeries.
The ski
Almost,
resorts have the graded metal grate thing.
But just something a little more
Grabby.
grabby.
Yeah.
Make life easier for for folks. Make it less messy.
It does try to track in.
Yeah, since we'll be back in salt and sand mode before you know it. Sorry. I know.
Just because we're talking about Christmas parties doesn't mean we need to
You
talk
looked
about
out the
snow.
window? It's yuck out there. All right, anything else? No? Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 4:12. Thank you.